Ben here, Uber Portland, October 12, 2015. You want some opinions? I got them. Pros and cons. Money. Pro, you make some. Cons, it's not that much. Uber wants 20% of your fares. That's inflated from what it used to be. A lot of people say Uber is broken and not a profitable business anymore. I would agree 50-50. You are the sole proprietor of a business, which a lot of people don't take into account. They're used to corporations holding their hand and doing things for them, including taxes and write-offs. This ain't that. If you're considering driving for Uber, I would encourage it. I think it's a cool thing to experience. I've had some drunk people, some high people, some obnoxious people, some really hot chicks, some really cool dudes, and some people I would consider being, friends with, honestly. The understanding is not to tip your Uber driver, and 90% of the time, actually 95, you don't get tipped. A lot of the time you end up talking about it with the passenger. You can express that, hey, tips are welcome. We're doing a service. Anyone loves tips, but that's not enough. There can be a thin red line of kind of a altercation starting if you get too deep in that conversation. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there of irate passengers touching on that subject with drivers. Downtown Portland on the weekend at night can be kind of a roll of the dice. Sometimes it's hot chicks and they want to talk and basically bounce ideas off of you and ask what it's like. For the most part, the best feeling about Uber is the people's opinion. I understand taxi drivers are pretty pissed about the Uber movement. It's just such a good feeling to have people say how great Uber is. The bad experiences they've had with cab drivers, a lot of them can't speak English, a lot of them are not punctual, and it's kind of disconnecting. They do have a separation between the front and the back of the vehicle. They run these stupid ads on the tablets on the back of their seats that are just right in your face. I think that's bullshit. One of the coolest things about Uber is availability. I have lived through my 20s on those holiday party nights like St. Patty's, New Year's Eve. You try to call for a cab 2 hours before curfew, it ain't happening. Somebody's always going to have to take one for the team and drive drunk. It was severely unfortunate, and that problem has been solved since Uber came along. So thumbs up, man. I think that is just one of the best things that have ever happened. It really does prevent drunk driving. The prices are super fair. I think it's a great thing. As a driver, I have some other opinions. The perspective I want to put you in is like playing a video game and being the character in the video game. Sucks getting shot, sucks dying. It's cool being the player and living kind of third person to that. If you want to be a part of Uber, you got to take some things into consideration. I'm a big man, and I'm not really too scared of certain individuals, but it's dark in Portland at night, especially in the fall when winter is approaching. It's hard to see what people are doing in the back of your vehicle. Some are not very cordial, some are real short, don't want to talk. That's fine with me. The music choice, I'm always self-conscious about. I don't really know if people like the music. Sometimes I don't care, but they don't either. So it's hard to separate the reality that they're driving in your vehicle, which is your office and your property. Sometimes when you share something like that, it can create kind of a boundary, and some people just step on your boundaries. They don't care. I've had drunk individuals. I've had people eat food in my car, get crap all over the seats. I've had people use others' apps, and you know, I thought I was picking up a female. It was a male, very drunk. Obviously, it got kicked off of Uber on his app. So some people don't set destinations in the app, which can be kind of weird. I've had oral directions for half-an-hour rides. Take a left here, take a right here. Oh, we missed it, you know, turn around. That sucks. That really, really sucks. Basically, there's a lot of new drivers. There's an inflated amount of drivers, I've noticed. It can stay pretty active some hours, but you know very little based on when you get a request for a ride. All you know is where they want to be picked up and their rating. I've seen some bad ratings. I usually turn those people down, but then you get reported on at the end of the week on your percentile of pickups and rides you have accepted or denied, compared to the top drivers, which usually hit 100%, which I think is kind of bullshit. It can be painstaking. You're always filling up on gas. You're always checking your vehicle after each passenger, making sure there's no damage or somebody left something, or any residual drugs are left in your car. There's a lot of drunk people. I don't drink. I used to drink. Blah, blah, blah. I don't now. It's hard to be around drunk people when you're sober. The smell of the vapors of alcohol can get to you a little bit. I've dropped groups of people off that, I mean, you couldn't get the smell out of your car. Some people have BO issues. That's a thing. Trust me. And so on and so forth. I would say if anyone's trying to work for Uber right now, go for it for the experience. Don't think of it as a big financial investment. It's not what people think. It's not a Quentin Tarantino movie. It is real. I'm always worried about my car. I got a brand new car. It just puts you on pins and needles. I don't like people touching my shit or fucking with my shit. Pardon my French. And a lot of people feel the same way. Some people, their vehicles are pride and joy. So that can be a stress. Portland has pretty wacky roads. There's a lot of traffic. The Uber surge, which is the multiplier of fares in certain areas because of demand, is bullshit. It is a trolling device. I have never had an Uber surge, ever. It's just a way to move drivers to certain areas and just stir the pot. That sucks. That really does suck. They advertise it as if you're gonna get a 5 times multiplied fare, you know, at least once a day, and all this BS. It's stupid. They have email updates for events. A lot of them are pretty much booze events, so they try to kind of allure you to these big situations where you're going to get a lot of fares. It's not true. And you're going to be picking up a lot of drunk people who are really disconnected and don't give a fuck. I would give Uber a 7 out of 10. Things are changing a lot. Competition drives prices down. The media is always bashing both social media and news media. I've gotten on some sites and just could not believe what I read Some opinions about Uber are just terrible. There's always a face-off in traffic with taxi drivers, aggressive drivers. At night, a lot of people suffer from night blindness. You're always worried about dividing passenger safety with charisma. You want to make sure you're keeping the ball bouncing back and forth and having a good conversation or atmosphere without driving off a cliff. That can be really hard. If you're not a multitasker, don't do it. Between the steering wheel, your gas pedal, the phone app, the passenger, and your surroundings, it can be a lot to pay attention to. I don't know if I'll do Uber for much longer. The money's not all that great. You can get a lot of rides that are 7 minutes long. That's about $7 or $8, and that's before the Uber's cut. It's it's a lot of hustle and bustle, start and finish over and over and over and over. So it can get to you. The first week can be awesome and eye-opening and such a great experience. But just like anything, after a while, the allure wears off. So keep that in mind. That's pretty much all I gotta say. I have a mid-sized vehicle, so that can be a problem. My gas mileage average is very good, so that's a positive. But the one thing I would also say about Uber is the fare is the same no matter how many passengers you have. That was a surprise to me. Basically, one person can average about 130 pounds to 170 pounds. And I'm just shooting from the hip here, but 3 or 4 people, that can kind of ruin your gas mileage. It can also be very distracting. Keep that in mind. It's an eye-opener when you realize that there's no stipend for the amount of passengers. 1 or 4, it doesn't matter, it's the same. I think that's kind of stupid. Anyway, rock on. I think Uber's a good thing altogether. I don't think it'll last long. The media's really bashing it, and people don't keep in mind we're here month to month. It hasn't been official yet. It could go away real fast. And like everything in America, one bad thing happens and everything's got to change for everybody. It's like grade school. So just you wait and mark my words. There's going to be some big fatal accident. Maybe somebody wasn't insured. Maybe the Uber driver was high on narcotics and or drunk. And it's going to make front page news and just drift away. That's my opinion. Anyway, I'd like to thank Uber Corporate anyhow for making such a cool thing. I want to give Portland big kudos for being such a rebel nation. It's just cool to live in these times, and I think Uber is one of the coolest kind of pirate entities that I've seen since Napster, you know what I'm saying? And it's cool. Anyway, Ben here signing out. October 12th. See you on the road.